So, welcome to the Frank Ritchel Ames Memorial Library's first resource session. We are going to be covering the first aid for USMLE and AccessMedicine today, and we're going to go over some of the study resources. And I'm going to just give a brief overview, and then Mr. Richards is going to jump right into actually showing you guys the resources and clicking through them. So let me share my screen. Okay. Can everyone see that? Good. Perfect. Okay. So first we're going to talk about First Aid Forward for USMLE. So First Aid Forward is an interactive online study platform for RVU community members who are preparing for the USMLE Step 1 and Step 2 examinations. Our subscription allows you guys to customize your approach to studying by quizzing yourselves on course subjects featured in both examinations. So some of the key features for First Aid Forward, Step 1 are the clinical images, the high yield facts. There's 350 plus cases for you guys to look at, and then over 1,000 active learning questions. And Step 1 primarily covers essential principles and organ systems across the subjects. Step 2 has a lot of the same features, but it's covering kind of all fields of medicine that you're required to understand for those exams. So that's kind of just a brief overview of First Aid Forward. AccessMedicine is going to provide you with thousands of online resources that are updated weekly with the newest research and emerging trends across a number of healthcare professions. Some key features you're going to find are the medical textbooks, the quick reference, the drug monographs, multimedia cases, study tools such as question banks. You can kind of custom design your own quizzes once you have an account, and patient education. So that was pretty much it. I know, like I said, just a very brief overview, because the important part is going to be Mr. Richards kind of walking us through what the resources actually look like and how you can access all these different tools. So I am going to stop sharing, and I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Richards, who's going to walk you guys through everything. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Emily. So if I haven't met you yet, my name is Joe Richard. I am the Technology and Repository Librarian at the Frank Ritchel Ames Memorial Library. I am based in Colorado, but I help our students and our faculty and staff on all of our campuses too as well. If you only have one screen, it might be harder to follow along. So I'm going to share my screen. What's on the screen is what's the important part. So we'll go ahead and get started with that. I'm going to go ahead and share that. So it is going to be a follow along session. And can everyone see my screen? Perfect. So as always, the first place we want to start out is our library's website. And if you haven't had a chance yet, make sure you bookmark this. That way you can get back to it easily. So take a second to get on our library website, library.rvu.edu. And this is our general landing page here too as well. And there's two ways that you can go about getting to our resources. Well, actually 3 ways. You can hover your mouse over databases and click A to Z databases. That'll take you to our database finder. Great way to find all of our resources, all of our databases from one location. The A to Z database page isn't a research engine, so you can't look for individual articles on that page or full text journals. It just tells you, here's all the databases the library has subscription access to that you can access on or off campus. So you can go up here and click that. You can scroll down to quick navigation and click the quick nav tile right here. And if you go to the bottom of our webpage, you'll see our featured online resources. These are the ones that our community most heavily utilizes. So you see we've got our point of care resources as well as some of our multimedia and Q&A resources. Emily was really nice and designed new tiles for all of our new resources. So for this one, we're going to start off with AccessMedicine. So right here on this tile, go ahead and click that. And that's going to take you through the library's electronic resources login portal. And you'll just use your RVU username and password to get access into that. And the electronic resources login portal is basically just a way for us to connect you to our resources when you happen to be off campus. So you always want to go through there If you try to go to, say, accessmedicine.com from home, you're going to hit a paywall because they don't know your personal home IP address. So that's why we have the electronic resources login portal to make sure you have access to those resources from wherever you're at. Now, if I can see a thumbs up, how many of you are on the landing page for Access Medicine? Perfect. I'm seeing some thumbs up. There's also those little emotes that you can thumb up to as well. So, assuming we're all in here, the first thing we're going to do so you can kind of truly get the follow along experience is going to create our accounts. So, something important to know is the majority of our resources, our databases, have the ability for you to create a personal account. And that's a relationship between you and that specific database. Those accounts will live on with you even after you leave RVU, although the subscription access that we provide to you will expire. Those accounts will still exist too as well. And the reason why you create an account is a lot of them have apps, so you need to create accounts so you can access the mobile app on your phone or tablet. And there's a lot of unique interactive features that become available when you create your own account. For instance, you can create self-assessment quizzes. You can favorite content, build unique content folders to create a study plan for yourself with content that's relevant to whatever system you're in. So up here at the top, you'll see a thing that says My Profile. You're going to click on the little drop-down arrow there, and you're going to click Sign In or Create a Free Access Profile. It's going to take a second to load there, and then you're going to scroll down, and you're going to click Institutional. If you don't see that, oop, uh-oh. There's always an instance whenever I'm teaching something that something happens while I'm doing it, but it never happens before it. So bear with me for a second. There we go. So you're going to see this option says Create a Free My Access Profile. And you're going to click on that, and it's going to take you into the login page, or the account creation page, sorry. And you're going to fill out all the relevant information, your first, last name, email address. Please use your RV email address. You're going to pick a desired username and your password. And then you can go down here and select a profession. So you can click student. And if you want, you have your option here for your program. They even have medical DO in there. And if you have a specialty, I don't think it'll give you one actually for here, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, if when you hit create and it's not letting you do this, since this field's required, then you can just pick another one and then pick a specialty on there too as well. But it should allow you to pick a program. And then the other stuff's just optional, so you don't have to worry about that. All you have to do is just read the terms and create your profile. So take a second to do that. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and sign into my existing profile. So we're all on the right page. And then when you've done that, just give me a thumbs up in the chat there, so I know if you're able to successfully create it. Perfect. We've got some there, and if you can also type in the chat that you've got it. And if there's any issues you're experiencing, we can, at the end of the session, we can work on one-on-one with that too as well. Or if we don't have time, we can also meet over Zoom to go through those too. So it looks like I'm getting some thumbs up here for people that are able to create their accounts. So the next thing I want you to do, which I think it's optional, but I really encourage you to do it. This resource is one that has an accompanying app that you can access on your tablet. And when you do that, you're going to be able to access the ebooks from your tablet. You're going to be able to access the Q&A resources and flashcards from your tablet. So if you're a tablet-based user, and whether you're on an Android device or you're on a Apple device, just go into the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store and search Access hyphen by McGraw-Hill. I'll type that in the chat too as well. By McGraw-Hill. And this will get you to the Access app. And when you get into there, it's going to ask you just to sign in with your username and password that you just created for your account. And just go ahead and sign those credentials in there, and then you'll have access to the app. I'll take a moment to do that, and if I'll give it a minute or two here to make sure, and for those that you are doing that, just give me a thumbs up that it worked for you. And then just While you're doing that, just hang out on the Access Medicine homepage, and we're going to go into a little bit of information on some of the interesting account features, and then we'll go into demo on how do you create custom quizzes and some of the more interesting multimedia features too as well. And sorry if you hear squeaking, I've got a very squeaky desk. I'm working from home today, so it's a little squeakier one. Perfect. I'm not hearing any no's. I weren't able to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and just start here. Just back on the Access Medicine homepage here. I want to show you the back end. So what you just were able to achieve by creating your account. So you'll see your name up here in the top corner here, and just click on the little drop down, and you can click on My Dashboard. This is going to take you to the back end here. You're gonna know that you've got remote access, which means that you can access that app for 90 days. And after 90 days, you'll just sign back into the profile from your desktop, and it will give you remote access to the app for another 90 days. And they'll keep doing that for every 90 days until you graduate. And they just want to make sure that you're not still accessing the app after you graduate. But as long as you're always logging into your personal account when you're on that platform, you'll never hit an issue where you're going to open the app and be turned away. So that's why I was always encouraging our students who have created accounts, just always log in, because that way you can always make sure things you're doing are tracked. So on the back end here, this is your account dashboard. And you're going to find information about your favorites. So anything you star can appear under your favorite content. You can build content collections. So if you're someone who's studying for MSK and you want to build an MSK folder full of relevant flashcards, full of relevant book chapters, charts and figures, you can create a folder in here and fill it with relevant content. You can access both on the desktop version and on the app version. You can see your recently viewed, another reason why to always sign in case you forget what you're reviewing. It'll show up here in your history, as well as you'll see your review questions for questions you've taken, as well as any cases you've reviewed. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on Go to Collections and just make a little collection here for what we're doing, so I can show you when I'm navigating around the system. I'm just going to put in MSK in there. And now I'm going to create a new collection. You also see here, there's also one called Access Mobile Favorites. Whenever you log into the app, the system automatically creates a folder for you called Access Mobile Favorites. And if you want to easily access ebooks and materials quickly, you can always throw them into your Access Mobile Favorites and access that from your app. But you can always access those things without them being in a folder too as well. I just found it a little bit easier from navigating the app to throw them into a favorites folder. Alrighty. So I'm going to go ahead and just get back to the landing page here too as well. And up here in the top corner, there'll be an options here. So anything that appears at the top here in this little cluster is things that we subscribe to. You're going to have access to anything that says under Explore More Sites, or things that you're going to hit a paywall for because we don't have access to those resources. So these are the 3 ones we have through McGraw-Hill. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on Access Medicine, and that'll bring us back to the General Access Medicine homepage. So under here, I'm going to go ahead and click Study Tools. And this is what we're here for today, is to talk about the Q&A resources that you can use to help study for your quizzes. Under here, you'll see there's also got interactive flashcards where you can favorite flashcards, and it's sometimes will ask you questions in the front. You can flip around and see the answers too as well. But that won't track your progress. It's just a memorization tool. The ones that do are under Review Questions. So if you click Review Questions under Study Tools, it's going to present you with 2 options: Basic Sciences, which we're in right now, and then when you get into your 2nd and your 3rd and 4th years, you also might find clinical practice and board review content relevant. So I'm going to go ahead and click Basic Sciences. And it's going to pop you open to, again, your core subjects here. For ours, I'm going to go ahead and click on Anatomy and Physiology, since I know most of us are starting off with anatomy. And it's going to present you with all of the textbooks that have questions under anatomy and physiology here too as well. So there's like over 1,000 questions in here for these specific core subjects. You also can, if you go to a specific book by itself, it will give you an option to just click on Review Questions and you'll be taken over here. So if you were just starting over here in the books and that book had a question bank, you'll see that in that textbook too as well, and you can jump over to this feature. So you don't always have to start on this page, but it's a good place to start if you want to see a general overview of everything. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here and click the Big Picture Gross Anatomy Medical Course and Step 1 Review 2nd Edition. So it's going to take us to the quiz page for this specific textbook. What's really neat is I've got the option here. I can create a random quiz. So I can just take I can do 10 questions, I can do the entire quiz if I want, and I can start that random quiz, or I can build a custom quiz. So, you're not going to be studying all of these subjects at once. You might be doing, the head and neck and neuro later in January. So you might not want to focus on those. So you might want to get more granular about what questions you're answering or quizzing yourself on. So you might want to look at lower limb and do one question from there. Or you might want to look at the back and do two questions from there. So I'm just going to do one and one here. And then we can look how it looks on the quiz feature. I'm going to hit start custom quiz. And take a second to read this question, and if you can, throw in the chat what you think it's, A, B, C, D, or E. And when you answer these, you have the option, you can submit and view your answers. Some of our students like to submit and view the answers as they go along. Some want to take the entire quiz and then look at those responses at the end. So what are we thinking? Now, I'm not medical school, so if I guess, then it would be completely wrong, unless I get lucky. E. Okay, let's check E. And we're going to click Submit and View Answer. So it says it was A, and it's going to give you that explanation down here. So I'm going to sprinkle a grain of salt on this. Because these explanations are taken directly from the textbook, the amount of explanation you get is really dependent on the author. Sometimes I've seen it where they just say the answer is A, and that's all you get. You don't get any clinical reasoning. And sometimes if it was built to be a Q&A resource, like this one is, you'll get a good paragraph of why this specific response was correct or incorrect. So this is a good example of that. And also, if you've seen this down here, this is going to let you know if you want to, like a benchmark. This is global users, not just RVU users. So it's going to let you know globally for people who have taken this quiz and answered this specific question, where do you fall? So that might give you a good snapshot to say, this is a difficult question that's tripping up people that responded to it too as well, since we've got 60% of the users answered correctly. We're going to go ahead and click next question here. So go ahead, just if you can, take a second here and do either A, B, C, D, or E. Let's see. No pressure. Well, I'll go ahead and answer it then. Oh, wait. Haven't quite gotten the foot yet. Okay. So I'll go ahead and just guess here. I'm going to go with B. Oh, B? Okay, perfect. So I'm going to put B in there. And we're going to go ahead and, since this is our last one, we're going to complete the quiz and view the results. So we got 50%. So yes, the B was correct there. And then it's going to give us a breakdown of our quiz results. And we're going to have all of our responses with our explanations on one page. You can choose to email results to yourself if you like. You can print those results out, or if you want to retake them right then and there, you can too as well. And don't worry, you don't lose the ability to retake it later too as well. If you want to take the same quiz and see how you've done or updated, all you have to do is go in the back here on the back end, back to your dashboard. And now you're going to see your review questions are in here. You can click on them, and then it's going to take you back to that breakdown again where you can retake them. The only thing you lose is the ability to email them after you've closed out that initial page results. A fair warning though, once you rename it, it takes the ability away from, it takes the ability away from you to actually retake it. So if you look at all your review questions there, and if you were to give it an option to rename here, unless they've changed it, let's save that. Nope, see, once you rename your quiz, it takes the ability away from you to retake it. So just make sure you don't rename it until you're completely done with it. You'll still be able to see the history of what you've done with that quiz. You just won't be able to retake it again since you've made it a kind of a custom name, a custom file. So before we navigate away from this and look at our next resource, I want to go back to the AccessMedicine homepage and show you one or two other things I think you might think are interesting. So I'm going to go under here, the case files collection. We have cases, and they're also interactive too as well. Our students use the case file collection more so when they get into their second or third year when they're doing case-based learning. but I still think they're relevant because they also have a full fill in the blank, a Q&A feature too as well. And they do have case files anatomy here. So if you were to land on this page, just keep a note of this specific message here. You can get to the case files collection, the complete one, from our A to Z databases page as well as our homepage. But if you're already in Access Medicine and you want to access this, it's going to let you know that these versions here are just preview versions. They'll give you like 16 cases, and that's it. So you want to make sure you click over on this link here, and that will take you over to the complete case files collection where you're going to get all 60 cases per book. And we can go in here and we can click on our basic sciences cases. And you can navigate to these resources. And you can go in here, and I'm just going to click on one real fast. And it's going to give you a breakdown. It's giving you a case here. It's all fill in the blank. You can go ahead and give in your most likely diagnosis, what type of access, things like that. You can look at approaches, anatomy pearls, and then each case, and there's 60 cases per book, is going to have comprehensive questions, usually 1 to 5, I've seen them, where it's going to give you a breakdown, and it's going to look the same way that we saw when we did the review questions for the textbook on the big picture anatomy. It's going to allow you to submit and view answer now or submit and view next question. And there you go. We've got our similar breakdown there too as well. And lastly, before we go over to first aid forward, this is a really interesting feature that not a lot of people know about. It's under multimedia, and it's under human anatomy models. So the library has a great collection of models, real models that you can use in the library, but we don't have everything. So if you're looking for some kind of 3D models, inside of Access Medicine, it's powered by BioDigital. There are these 3D models here that you can play around with. They have an options for you to look at a complete model, or you can look at focus anatomy models. You can do a tour, or you can look at regional anatomy models. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this complete human anatomy models here, and you can choose. I'm going to go ahead and click on mail. Now, I've only ever done this from a mouse and keyboard, but I imagine it's pretty nice when you're using a touchscreen device where you can just touch and move it around, or even Apple Pencil, things like that. It takes a second to load in. It's getting there. It always happens to get stuck on 99%. I mean, not just this, but everything in the loads always seems like 99%ing. Inking still. There we go. And there you go. It's going to load in here. And if my mouse here, I can move it around. I can zoom in. You have options for 3D controls. Do enter full screen. And then here I'm zooming in here. And you can isolate certain areas. So you can do a selection tool. You can hide. So if you want to hide something, you can. It's going to make that opaque below there. You can fade it. You can look at layers. You can do the Navigating Explorer. You can draw. It's going to give you a whole drawing apparatus where you can add text, and you can download that image to your desktop and having a customized image for yourself. And then you've got some other options here too as well, like help if you need help with the system. But it's very neat if you ever have a chance to play around with it. You're looking for some kind of free models. I just encourage you to go ahead here and play around with this system, and it might help you more so if there's something that we don't have physically in the library to utilize. And you can favorite the models that you want to get back to quickly using the star button there. Alrighty.
There's a question in the chat, just so you know.
Motion of the muscle controls. I don't think so. I don't think it's like it has a movement feature like that where you can see it. I could always double check with them, but that's one I don't know right off the top of my head. It might be it more so in, let me see, give me 1 second. It might be in one of these focused anatomy models or human anatomy tours. But so far I haven't seen anything where it shows the movement aspect of it. But I'll double check. I'll email the support team and ask them if that's something it can do, and I'll get back to you. Alrighty, I'm gonna navigate away from this page, but I'll leave it open in case we have any other questions at the end too as well. So for this next one, we'll make sure we get back to the library's homepage, library.rvu.edu. And under here, we're going to say first aid for the USMLE step 1 and 2. Now, I know you're not even thinking about USMLE right now, but there's still a lot of basic sciences questions in here that I find helpful. A lot of the professors are having questions to teach to the boards. And that's what they've been really looking for in board style questions. So it never hurts to have board style questions in your kind of toolbox when you're studying for your block exams. So again, at the bottom of the library's homepage, click first aid for the USMLE, and it's going to take you to this page here. You're going to go ahead and put in your email address. I'm going to try to put it in incorrectly so I can show you exactly how it looks. And then you're going to get into this page here. It's going to ask you for your first name, last name, your role, and then it's going to ask you for your graduation year. So we would do 2028, and you're clicking this, and it's going to send you a magic link. It's going to send it to your email. So make sure you use your RV email address because this First Aid 4 will only accept RVU domains and subdomains. So colorado.rvu.edu, mt.rvu.edu, and ut.rvu.edu. And click on that send magic link. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and just log into mine. The magic link will go to your email. Sometimes it takes like 30 seconds to 60 seconds to get in there. And if you haven't seen it, just check your spam folder. And unfortunately, I can't walk you through it step by step because I've already done mine. So when you get the magic link, make sure to click on that magic link and it's going to authorize your account. If you're landed on this page, will you let me know? Student view, there we go. I'm there, perfect. I've got some people that are there too as well. So this is the landing page for USMLE Step 1. Now, unfortunately, there's usually like a little icon of a person in here that has your name up here. For some reason, mine's not showing it. I wanted to show you how to change your passwords because it doesn't ask you to create a password for yourself when you create your account. So you got to kind of go in and say, I forgot my password. So let me see if I can, give me 1 second and bear with me while I kind of go in there. Okay, there we go. So you're going to see your name up here in the corner. Click on my account. And down here, you're going to click edit. Scroll all the way to the bottom and you'll see don't know your password. Click here to reset it. And then it's gonna send you, put your email address in there. It's gonna send you a way to reset your password and create a unique one for you. And again, apologies, I don't know why they don't give you the ability to create a unique password for yourself when you sign up. It's just how it is. So go back in here, tell them you forgot your password. You get the email address. You'll get an email sent to your email that says, here, create a new password for yourself, and go ahead and create that for yourself. And that way you'll have your username, which is your email address, and a password that is familiar to you. And when you've done that, let me know, and then we'll land up back on this page, and I'll show you a little bit about how to access the Step 1 resources. We do have Step 2 resources, so we'll cover probably next year for you all. Well, probably second year we'll cover Step 2 resources in case students going into rotations want to look at those two as well. But right now we do have First Aid for the USMLE Step 1 and First Aid for the USMLE Step 2 available in here. But while you all are resetting your passwords, the program First Aid Forward has 3 ebooks in here per step. So you're going to have your standard USMLE for the First Aid Step 1. It's always going to be the most current edition. You're going to have cases in here, as well as you're going to have clinical pattern recognition. So these are the 3 ebooks, only available as ebooks. You can't download any chapters from here or anything like that, but you can read them right within the website. There is no app for this platform yet. So you can go here and access these ebooks if you're studying for the Step 1 the boards. But down here is kind of the kind of what we're showing off, the meat of the platform. You've got all of your basic subjects here. So we're gonna go down here and we'll just click on MSK right here. or musculoskeletal, skin, and connective tissue. If you click the little plus icon, it's going to show you everything that's in here, all of the high yield subjects. And then, videos, patterns, and cases. These will all link into chapters in those textbooks. So you can access them right there, but it's going to show you kind of high yield content. And then if you want to just jump into the quizzes, you can click on the quiz practice. It's going to give you a progress, attempts, correct versus incorrect. Now you have two options. Start quiz attempt, which is going to be basically what we saw in AccessMedicine. You're going to take the entire quiz, and then you'll see your responses. Or if you want to start the tutor attempt, it's going to show you what you're doing as you go along. So for this one, I'm just going to go ahead and click on that. But if you hover your mouse over the little eye, it's going to give you a little information. We're going to click Start Tutor Attempt. So I'm going to go ahead and just guess on this one. I'm going to hit Answer and show you. So now we've got our breakdown here. We've got our Q&A resource. We've got our quiz, our correct answer, as well as we've got our explanation. And it's going to tell you the educational objective. So if I wanted to do another one, I'm going to click Next Question here. And I'm just going to jump through this one. Going to click Answer. And again, we've got our explanation as well as our educational objective. I'm going to go ahead and click Close Tutor. So if I wanted to jump back into that, I can click on quiz practice. Let's say I had to jump out and go to class. You can click on the quiz practice and you can see here, I can start a new tutor attempt, I can start a new quiz attempt, or I can just continue where I left off. And I can see all of my progress here too as well, how I was doing in my last attempt too as well. So it really gives you that flexibility of starting anew or just picking up where you left off. I'm going to show you an example of what it looks like when you're completely done, since I have one that I've done so far. I go into biochemistry here. So you can see this is why I don't go to medical school, because all my answers are very bad. But these are what it looks like. So when you've done all of your attempts and you've finished a quiz completely, you're going to get your score sheet. So you can jump back and look at completed quizzes, and you can kind of see how you've done each time, my number of attempts there. And if you click on this one, it's going to give you that breakdown of the entire quiz with everything in it, and you can look through it too as well. You can also sort by topics. So if you just want to look at certain topics within this quiz, you can. If you want to filter by just correct, you can there too as well. So it literally allows you to filter through your completed quizzes. And if you want to isolate a certain topic maybe that you've been struggling on, you can kind of see how you've been struggling on this. There we go. I can get in there right there and look at this. So yeah, I mean, that's really just the heart of First Aid Forward. It's really user-friendly. It's really simple to get in there and start making quizzes for yourself. A couple things you will notice, though, is unlike the AccessMedicine, there is no way to custom quizzes. So you're going to have to you can't, say, build a biochemistry and an endocrine quiz. These are all isolated, so you can go in here and take one quiz for that subject. But you can't pick and choose what kind of questions or subjects you want from an individual quiz or build multi-subject quizzes. Hopefully in future iterations, just keep in mind, this is the first year they launched this. So this is a brand new platform for them. So there's definitely a lot of improvements on the way when they start collecting that information. So if you start using this and you like it and you have ideas for how it could be better, send those to Emily, Josephine, or Vance or myself, or all four of us, let us know, and we can pass along that information to our First Aid Forward representative and let them know, like, here's some ideas our students, our community had about how to make the platform better for them and how they could use them, accommodate different kind of study platform needs, sorry. So yeah, I think that was the gist of it. Emily, if you want to pause the video, just please don't leave. We do have like a little short, it's like a little confidence survey.